Alrighty, so it's been a little while since I made a video. This is the first time I'll be making a video going over an entire event. Normally I just cover a spawn, but I figure I've had quite a few people ask me about events. So I figured I would make a video on it and see if people like it. If people like it, then I can start making videos for every event. So yeah, let's start into it. So big news: 45 cost gear and monsters are here. So 44 cost is no longer the highest cost, and as far as weaker stuff that you shouldn't be using anymore, 40 costs you should no longer be using, 41 costs you should be using sparingly, and 42 to 45 is still within a pretty good range. I do notice though, when I'm looking at my gear, that even 43 cost gear sometimes can be significantly weaker than some of the 44 cost gear. Like I have, you can see some of the stats here. 43 cost jumps from basically 111,000 to 140,000, but it depends on the gear because sometimes it jumps all the way to 160,000. So even within the 43 cost range, it varies quite a bit. This is quite common. As they release more and more gear, the gear score increases generally. So this first round of 45 cost gear will probably be the weakest gear, but that's okay. It's a slow creep that they usually like to do. But you can see 42 cost gear like this one here is still around the 100,000 mark. So not too far off from 43 cost, but it does seem like there's a bigger jump between 43 and 44. So we'll have to see how that works out for 45 cost. So let's go into the actual spawn. I love Mahala. She was one of my favorite monsters, and Pyra as well. They're both great monsters like the originals. So let's look at these guys. So it's a light monster, so it's pretty easy to build against light, as I've previously discussed, because both star and dark counter light, so it's pretty easy to stack against it. So she strips, and then she does quite a high amount of ability power, 4 times, and magic damage, which is pretty good. So she is a damage dealer from this right here. Let's see what else she does. She protects the field, applies rage, gives 180 buff, and barracks. It's a pretty interesting monster. I like her in one sense, because she doesn't give any fields. There's a lot of monsters that give fields, and what can end up happening is that an excellent monster can become a terrible monster when new fields are introduced that are just way more powerful. For example, a great example of this is a pretty old monster, but there is a 40 cost monster. See if I can find her. This one. I love Excalibur so much. She does, like, at the time, she did so many amazing things. She hit like a truck. She gave you crit buff. She gave you Unison gauge. She gave you a bubble. She did so many things, but she gave you Destiny Field. Now, after Excalibur came out, a few months after she came out, they came out with a new field that was even more powerful than Destiny Field. And what ended up happening was, if you started throwing this monster, which was an excellent monster in all regards except for the field, then you were basically throwing. Because now you had a terrible field. No matter what buffs she gave you, you'd have to throw another monster to fix the field. So this fields can actually date a monster. Imagine if this monster didn't have Destiny Field. She would have been good for much, much longer period of time. So to put it in perspective, it can actually elongate the value of a monster by not having a field, especially with Unison League constantly adding new fields. We'll probably end up seeing a new field in a couple, at least a year. We should probably be seeing a new field. So this monster, I actually like her just because she doesn't give a field. With that being said, we're also going from 35 to 40K to 50K. So 35 to 40K was the 44 cost monsters. Now we're at 45 cost monsters and they're giving 50K. And 1,000 light defense, pretty interesting, but I'm not a big fan. This is what I really love. Lethargy and frail resistance at 60, which is excellent. Lethargy is the one that prevents you from proccing, I believe. So when you try to attack proc, you can't attack proc. And then frail is your defense procs. So this is more of a PvP thing, but even some of the high level PvE monsters will sometimes apply frail to you so that they can just kill you. So overall, I actually really like this monster. She's not like amazing. She doesn't give you tons and tons of buffs, but what she does do is pretty unique. She gives the best bubble. She gives 180 buff. I don't really care about rage. There's way better monsters. And she does pretty good damage. She also protects the field. So great for, I'd say she's a great monster for guild battle, honestly. I'd say that she is a 7 or 8 out of 10. I would like to see maybe one more thing on her, like maybe blessing, or some other support aspect to her. But honestly, I like her. She's a good clash monster, I think, right? So you're running time, star, light, dark. She can fill the light spot. She can also deal pretty good damage just to try to kill the enemies, and she also gives 180 buff, field protect, bubble. I mean, she's a pretty good monster. I like her. And the other one, Pyra, she is a water monster, so much harder to defend against. She only hits 2 times, which I really, really don't like. And the reason why is because there's nothing that you can do to kill someone if they have both ward and resurrection or miracle. You're not killing anyone with this. There's quite a few monsters that are really unique like this, and whenever you have this small amount of hits, it doesn't matter. You're not gonna consistently kill a lot of people. That's definitely not saying she won't kill people. I mean, she will kill people, but she's not gonna be as consistent as some of the higher hitting monsters, like the higher value hitting monsters. So she applies karma and removes all buffs. Fortify, which I really like for basically everything. Dawn, which is the best. And Twilight. Dawn and Twilight's pretty unique. I think one of the old monsters gave Dawn and Twilight, but I think it only gave Dawn to one person and Twilight to the entire team. So pretty unique, but Twilight is something you can't protect against. There's nothing you can do. You just end up dying against Twilight if they attack you in a PvP setting. And then Siege, which is not the best bubble, but it's an okay bubble. And then 40k stats, which I'm not a big fan of. The time slice for 90 seconds is gnarly. So if you don't know, you can only time extend once. So for example, if I throw buffs, if I time extend by 10, and then I throw a monster that time extends by 120 seconds, it only time extends by 1 second. However, time slicing does not have this effect. So you can time slice for 10 seconds, which will remove 10 seconds, and then you can time slice again for 60 seconds, and it'll time slice all of those buffs by another 60 seconds. There's no limit here. So a great combo in guild battles is a lot of guilds will throw priority monsters to protect their team, give them lots of strong buffs like 180 buff, field, stuff like that. And then the idea is that you should be able to survive the enemy's attacks because you have these buffs from the priority monsters, and then your monsters can counterattack. So regardless of if you win the clash or not, you can still come and slap the enemies. You should be able to survive. The counter to this is a time slicing Unison. So you throw 2 or 3 time slicing monsters right off the bat, and that'll strip all of the buffs from the enemy, regardless of what they are. And then you throw penetration monsters and high damage monsters right after that. This monster is a fantastic monster for time slicing. So it might fit in that type of throw, just as an example. Rejection resistance. I got a few messages about people saying that I underestimate rejection resistance. Trust me, I definitely do not. I hate rejection just as much as you guys do. But it is definitely not the most used buff. For guild battles, it actually used to be, so I can understand why people are saying that, because there's an old monster, Levi, who was a priority monster. He would cost cut you, he would blind, and he would apply rejection as a priority monster. So there was basically nothing that you could do, because he would take all of your cost, and then he would blind you, so even if you tried to kill the enemies, you couldn't, and he would rejection you, so you couldn't gain uni or cost anymore. But it's been a long time since a monster like that has been prolific in guild battles, so rejection resistance is not top priority right now. And Water and Dark is fantastic. That's a great combo. I like this monster in like a guild battle sense. As like a regular throwing monster, I don't. So I would actually give this monster a 5 out of 10. I think that the amount of times that you can use this monster is not a lot. But I can see a vision for this being a 10 out of 10 monster for guild battle throw. But with that said, overall 5 out of 10 in my opinion. Now let's look at the weapons. They're Valorous Sword, so they're okay, not great. And these are Regent, which is also okay, not great. But they added this new feature, which I thought was really cool, where you can see how you would look with it on, which I think this feature is awesome, by the way. Fantastic for selling more. Now, how much will this one cost? So you got 300, 600, 900, and then 2 useless ones. So overall, then there's 6 pots, and you need 11,000 to exchange for a monster. So expect a monster to be somewhere between 700 and 800 gems. Could be always more if you're really unlucky, could be always less if you are very lucky. And then I figured I would do the selection spawn because I wanted to show you guys my reasoning for which monster I'm gonna choose. So I can tell you right off the bat, I'm not choosing her because she is 36 cost and I have a bunch of her, so not good. Again, not gonna choose her, 36 cost. This one is a 43 cost, so obviously I'm gonna choose her. That's how simple it is for me. Now, if you do have a couple other monsters, monster choices, then I would probably go over those. But Chatura, this monster, Maria, this monster, those are probably the best. This one or this one. Alrighty. And then I also wanted to go over some of the things that were going so so there's a summer campaign, and so there's a friend point spawn. So you can get these as limited time things from the friend point, and a furniture spawn. So same thing for the furniture. I can show you those are both, friend point is this one, and furniture is this one. And then I also wanted to go over this, the Summer Goddesses Challenge. Nobody cares about the background. I wanted to go over the monster though. So she doesn't do very much for damage. She gives cost, which is okay, and she gives a protection bubble, which is okay. But really what you're wanting is, here, let's see if I can get it. That part right there, the increased fire element by 2. So this is a great PvE monster. It's excellent. She gives tons of stats and a great monster. You should save this monster, put her on your main stats, and yeah. And then feet. I actually love the feet proc. I think it's super underrated. But overall, I would not recommend using free-to-play pieces. They're great for fillers, but other than that, not really useful. And then the mirror proc for defense, not good. So just avoid. Some more fun stuff in the spawn. Oh, looks like there's a new back gear and some new hair pieces. And then it looks like a lot of returning stuff. So yeah. Now I ran this the event once, so I can show you what you like, what the prices are. Make sure that when you're doing this, you always get the SSR fragments and the drops of ether. Those are the most important things. Also get the goddess, as many of them as you can, to get the increased fire. Those are the most important things if you're short on time. Now I wanted to show you this for whatever reason. When I ran this, it was a dark. All the monsters in the event were dark. So I'm gonna go under the pretense that this is just a dark quest. So I wanted to show you guys how I build, how I make a build. So first things first, you want to make sure that you equip all of your stuff. So I already went through and I equipped a bunch of my stuff. As you can see, this stuff right here and these 3 weird pieces at the end are all for the event. So everything else should be towards killing dark. So let's do this. I don't think I have a lot of dark stuff, if I'm being honest. So light and star are going to be the main things here. Oh, hang on, I need the fire stick. Let's remove some of that. Okay, so Xenos gear, obviously one of the most important pieces. And then everything else I'll want to be I think I'm gonna go with light this time. So I should be able to fit 5 pieces of light gear. Okay, so I can get 3 more cost out of my, so this and this, and I want to go with, here, let's rearrange this to be high total. Okay, so the main idea is that we want these to stack. right? These stack up to 5 and up to 5 for specifically light and dark weapons. And this one gives me extra, so it gives me 6, I guess 5 out of 10, and then I have the bonuses here for the synergy gears. So I need 5 light dark stuff, right? And these will stack up to 3 and stack up to 3. So that one doesn't matter as much because I've already finished stacking it. And then I just want one more. I'm gonna do this one because it also gives me 5. And this one also stacks on 5 and stacks on 5. So now I have 5 pieces of gear. Those all stack. These gear are just for my prestige. And then obviously Xenos gear. And then I have this one because it gives me plus 2 and plus 2. So a total of plus 4, which I could increase a little bit more. And it also is, it stacks on 1. So I don't need anything else to finish stacking this. And I want to make sure I have a lance in my main slot so I can have lance flash. We'll finish this off. I'll just do that. And then I have no idea if this, I have no idea if this event will have reflection. So I want to put on reflection resistance. Now I have 4 of these monsters, so I can only really equip one more. But I want this one to be a time or a star monster. So I'll probably go with this one. Yeah, plus 2 element. And then for these, I'm gonna throw on her and see if I have anyone else that's worth throwing on. Probably not. So now I'll just do all of the monsters and we're gonna go for high cost. Her field would actually not be bad. I can keep her. See if everything else looks good. I don't like this 43 cost monster. Let me get a 44 cost monster in here. This one, yeah. All right. Now I have to fix both my armors and my helmets because I had it on for the last event. So let's do that as well. So I am stacking the Stima gear. And I should have it all right here. Boom, 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 boom. And then a final stack I can do. Honestly, I'll just do stats. I know that's not optimal, but fuck it. And we're gonna do now we want the reflection reduction. Where is my reflection reduction? Huh. I thought I had, you know, it might actually be might be a hat now that I think about it. Well, regardless, doesn't matter. So how much do I have left over? 37? Okay, 37. Now we're gonna fix this. So I have those 3. So I just need 2 more. And again, I'm just going to go for stats. Obviously, it's not the highest or the best. Now that I have that, let's do everything and grab just some physical up constants for more stats. Okay, I think that's probably good. How much do I have? 39? I bet I can use that in my helms because I have a 39 cost gear, or 38 cost gear. It's resurrection, so that's perfect. And I think I'm good on everything now. So let's see, what are my stats? Oh, let me fix my monsters real fast so I get even more. Boom, boom, boom. Ah, come on. There we go. So now I have 42 plus 13, which is not the best, but obviously I have a bunch of random gear equipped. So let's see, against Dark, that's 8.8 mil in attack. Let's see if this is a hard quest. So I'm just gonna go and see if I can solo it. And then we'll look at the prestige rewards, see if you should be able to reach the final monster. I believe there's a 44 cost monster in here. Yeah, I don't think this is going to be hard. You should just be able to slap it. Hey, somebody else joined. And I'm about to run out of cost. I'll use this one. So I think the main difficulty of this quest will probably be we'll end up being having to protect the this one, the extra CPU. Oftentimes when I'm running these types of quests, what'll end up happening is you get hit with like a percent move, like a red percent move that drops you to 1 HP, and then a purple percent move, and you have to heal. So a great counter to that is Mend, because it's a percentage, and this monster has 17 million HP. So it's probably the best strategy, but it doesn't look like this is a hard quest. So pretty easy quest overall. And this quest should be around for probably 2 weeks. I can check, because that'll be the last thing that I do. But yeah, so that's how I build. Let's see how much prestige I get. So I only have a plus 2 times for prestige, 1400. And so you should be able to reach, with that being the case, you should be able to reach the end of the prestige ladder, or pretty close to it. So let's see what the rewards are now. So drop of ether, 41 cost. So here's where you will get the back gear, which is pretty good. 43 cost at 120. That's not bad. Ooh, a 43 cost monster and more SSR fragments. That's pretty good. And 200k is the 44 cost monster. So, oh snap! There's 2. Okay, well this one everyone should be able to get to. If you run this quest with all of your AP every single day of the quest, you should be able to reach the first 44 cost monster. This is pretty unusual. There's another one at 800k. There's no way I'm reaching this, but for anyone who does spawn this, you may be able to reach it. So that's pretty interesting. And I guess the last thing that I'll do is check how long the event will be around. Let's see. It'll be around for, wow, almost 3 weeks. Actually, you might be able to reach 800. I might be able to reach 800k. I think most people will be able to reach around 300k prestige. So you should definitely be able to get the 44 cost, one of the 44 cost Ninos. And yeah, well, I appreciate you guys, and I'll catch you guys later.